Since y'all want to say it, okay. Everybody's got potential.
Everybody got potential.
Okay, now, my friend told me a long time ago that potential is great. It's awesome. It's sort of like this. It's energy. It's potential energy. That's kinetic energy, right? But also what happens is it's not doing what? Moving. It's not doing anything with your potential. Your potential is stagnant. It's stagnant energy. But when it falls to the ground, it generates what? Kinetic energy. And this is what you have to do. You have to make sure that you are in line with doing one thing. Staying not only in a position of maximizing your potential, but doing something with your potential. Now, with that being said, we're going to learn some things today. And I'm going to say things like write this down. Okay? And don't be offended by it if you're not writing anything down. Okay? You guys will cheat off somebody who is writing something down later. All right? Now, we're going to get started. And once again, the name of this presentation is 20 Feet Tall, How to Grow in Leadership and Dominate the Universe. How many of you want to dominate the universe? Raise your hand right now. I guess not, but you know, I guess some people just here to just listen. They just don't want to, if they raise their hand, it might fall off or something. Okay, so, and my name is Jay Thurman, as Dr. Harper said before, and I want to tell you something right now. I'm really excited to be here. We had generated a lot of conversation between me and Dr. Harper, and I'm just so glad to be here today. You guys, everybody says that, right? But I'm really, really glad to be here today. It was a long drive. Now, I want to tell you a story about a tiger in Harlem. Okay? And this is the story of Antoine Yates. In the fall of 2003, in the evening, there was a secret. There was a secret that was lurking and hiding in the project hallways of a high-rise in Harlem, New York. And unbeknownst to many people, there was one individual who reported to a hospital with dog bites. But when they came and examined the wounds, they found out that they weren't dog bites. This is what my friend Antoine got bit by. Everybody say, "Aww, aww, he's so cute. He's so cuddly, isn't he? Just want to take him home and feed him, right?"
Yes.
Antoine loved animals. Listen, Antoine loved animals, and you've got to love animals to have this beautiful little kitten come home and live with you. And then one day, this is what happened.
Wow.
Me, my friend Ming. My friend Ming is a tiger. This tiger is 7 feet long and 500 pounds. 500 pounds. What happened was, Antoine had a love for animals, all animals. But in this particular case, when he reported to the hospital, they immediately got police involved. Police went out there and he told, and I believe his brother and him told him what had happened at that point. And the tiger had Antoine's leg in his mouth. Now the chances of anybody moving their leg from a tiger's mouth is about the same chances you have of winning the lottery. Okay? But somehow he got his leg out of his mouth. Now Antoine loved me when he was small and tough and raised him as his own. He would feed him pounds of chicken a day. And when his brother got home, his brother was away, and when his brother got home, his brother kind of helped him out because he was like, "This is my brother, I'm gonna help him out." And they would actually have to feed me pounds of chicken a day. Now, if Antoine was gone for more than an hour, Ming would forget Antoine existed.
Wow.
And if he stayed away longer than that, he would try to attack him. Every single day. Can you imagine that? So when the police came, the police were frightened. Listen, when they came, they scaffolded from the top of the project building down. And when they got down to the window, Ming jumped. Whoa! So what happened is eventually, the police somehow broke the window and used a tranquilizer gun to subdue Ming. Now, all in all, Ming is taken away. Antoine obviously has some questions to answer for keeping a tiger inside a public project building. But that's not the point. The point is that we all have our Ming. We all have little things that we carry with us every single day. I don't care who you are. We carry them with us every single day. And they stop us from developing into the person we want to be. Because all those things, whether it be friends, whether it be excuses, whether it be procrastination, are things that stop us from growing. Because they're small things. How many understand the fact that small things grow up to be big things that stop us from being who we really are? Raise your hand right now. Say yes.
Yes.
Now, all of us understand that at this point, our Ming, our little Ming, can grow up to be a big Ming. But we do nothing about it. The key to leadership in its essence is to master the art of self-leadership, to develop a sense of self-mastery. Antoine had a good heart. But like most people, we all have good hearts. How many of us have friends that we shouldn't be friends with? Or have in the past have friends that we don't even need to be friends with? How many people of us have excuses that we had no business having? How many of us are stifled every single day by the queries and questions that are not our responsibility, but we carry them around because they are bound to us by our guilt, our obligation of being a good person, and our love for wanting to help everybody else but ourselves? Raise your hand right now. This was a wonderful act that Antoine performed, bringing this tiger in, but the fact of the matter remains, it is a tiger. And some of us have people around us, whether it be family or friends, that are tigers. That when we were small and they were small, it was fun, it was cool, but all of a sudden, there comes a moment in each and every individual's life where they have to stop, pull the plug on the relationship, and say, I have to let go to grow. This is the big idea that I have for you guys. Now I want you guys to write this down again. If you lead yourself, you can lead others and dominate your universe. Now, when I say your universe, what do I mean? I mean to the smallest molecular part of who you are. Did you guys know that under a certain microscope, a powerful microscope, you can look straight through it? Everybody raise your hand up. Look at your hand. Everybody, raise your hand, look at your hand. Okay? Now, I want you to envision this. Under a microscope, you can look at your hand and see straight through your hand. But when you look at your hand, you'll see the particles of light that make up you that you're not even aware of. You are actually a light being. Under the right circumstances, imagine that for a second. Imagine how powerful that concept is. That is the big idea for you to learn how to lead yourself. So you must do what? Walk in the light of the sun as if all can see you at all times. That's the big idea. That no matter where you walk, no matter where you stalk, no matter where you pronounce yourself, no matter what presence you're in, you are walking in the light of the sun as if all can see you. That means that's the part of integrity. That when nobody's watching, you are still the person you are, whether it be good or bad. I remember seeing this video, and it was a video that was taken discreetly on a New York train station, a New York subway. And it was a Keanu Reeves. Does anybody know who Keanu Reeves is, the actor? Matrix guy? Okay. So what happened was, he was sitting down, and a woman, she got on. And somebody was filming him, obviously, but what they also filmed was him offering his seat immediately. That's just a gesture of his integrity, because he walked in the light of the sun as if all can see him at all times. That's just who he is and what he is. That's the key to leadership. How many want to be rich? Okay? If you don't want to be rich, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'll take your share. I'll take your portion. I'll tell you that. How many people want to do whatever they want? That should be everybody in this room. That should be everybody want to do what they want. Okay. Everybody want to, some people I guess will need somebody to tell them. But, so, anyway. How many people want to be their own boss? In a perfect world, even if you're not raising your hand, who didn't raise their hand? Raise your hand. In a perfect world, you want to make sure that you're an individual that has this in mind because we're all the bosses of ourselves. That's another key component of leadership. How many of you want to travel and do cool and meaningful work? Whether it be local, abroad, whether it be Mexico, whether it be Canada, whether it be in Europe, whether it be Africa. A lot of us, right? But you have to reach a point where you can self-direct yourself into a position of where you want to go. You can't even obtain these things without understanding the basic rules of leadership, of self-leadership. In 1986, there was a term called self-management. And what self-management was a movement. It was a massive movement. It started in corporate America. And in corporate America, they started printing these books out, and everybody's into the new professional development, and everybody was making transitions from saying, hey, it's team, but first we have to learn how to manage ourselves. So there were a lot of people who went into management programs, but not enough people went into leadership programs. And then they started teaching the concept of self-leadership, which is a self-directing mechanism of motivation that comes from within. Then this will happen. Now the challenge I have for you is this. I want you to identify areas in your life and fix it. How many of us have areas in our life that we want to fix? How many of us in our lives have things we want to fix but make a billion excuses why we can't do it? Now, have you guys ever written down the excuses why? I want you guys to do this. Write down the excuses why you can't do something. Because for some strange, mystical reason, people, if you listen, they always tell you what they don't want as opposed to what they want. Because actually conceiving the idea of wanting and achieving something is outside the truth of their reality that guess what? They can't have what they want. That becomes their truth. I don't care if it's a job, I don't care if it's a car, I don't care if it's a relationship, I don't care if it's a garden hose, I don't care if it's a garage, I don't care what it is, a ring, a diamond ring, I don't care whatever it is they want. And part of the problem is that people don't give themselves the permission. Because they don't feel they deserve it. A lot of people don't feel that they deserve to have things. So they don't get things. As a man thinketh what?
So is he.
Woo! I'll only have that. But here's the idea. Set a higher standard. A lot of us have standards that were given us. Mom, dad, these are what we call paradigms or beliefs. Okay? But a lot of us just operate on a less than 10% of our actual capacity. So we have 90% that's over here, and we only operate on 10%. That's the truth. But it doesn't have to be that way. So you need to set a higher standard. How do you set a higher standard? By giving yourself permission to want. To understand the power that you can want. I call it the power of want. Because there's a power in that. Whatever you want to achieve. But see, the thing is, the problem is not with you. I talk all over the country. I talk to many audiences, corporate. I talk to high schoolers. I talk to middle schoolers. I talk to Shriners. I talk to whoever will be in anticipation of a message I have to give them. But the one thing that always is a prevailing, consistent, is that they don't give themselves permission in life. Because other people outside of them are the ones that are causing them to stop doing what they're doing. How many people tried to start eating better? How many people actually started to eat better? But the day you started eating better, Your friend asked you, why were you eating better? And question you non-stop about why you wanted to better your life. Everybody in this room should raise their hand because we all have those friends. We all have those people in our lives that question everything we do. And they think it's out of love. But guess what? They're not totally wrong. They're not totally wrong. Because those are the people that put in your path for you to test the resolve of who you are. That's their job. Your haters. Okay? Your haters, they have a job. If you go to my website, I have this blog called How to Fire Your Haters. Okay? How to fire your haters. Because at that point, if you don't set any standards, they can break you. And stand firm to your beliefs and what you want, and know that you have the power to want, they can break you. The next thing you know, you say, man, I stopped eating meat. Why you stop eating meat? Ain't nothing wrong with eating meat. My grandma, my granddaddy ate meat all their life. They lived to be 97 years old. Ain't nothing wrong. I ain't gonna stop eating no meat. You can go ahead on with that vegetarian stuff. I guess you're right. I guess you ought to start and give me a bacon hamburger. Break the spell just like that. That's crazy. That's crazy how somebody can just step on your dreams and test you, but that's their job. Don't get mad at them, because if you were resolved and doing what you were supposed to be doing and meant what you said instead of some flight and fancy, guess what? It wouldn't matter. Now would it? Would it matter? Would it matter? No. It wouldn't matter. Own your gifts. How many people have incredible gifts? Everybody should be raising their hand. Who didn't raise their hand? Who's not raising their hand? Who's not raising their hand? Who's not raising their hand? Okay, somebody should be raising, because in your gifts, that's the platform or the foundation for when you stand. And the thing is, a lot of people have wonderful gifts to give the people. What if somebody was like, you know what? I'm not even going to create electricity today. What if Thomas said it was like, you know, I'm not even going, man, the light bulb stuff, man, I'm not even going to mess around with it. I'm just going to just keep on burning this kerosene light. I think it's a good idea. What if Henry Ford didn't improve upon the Mercedes company's idea about that car? What if he just said, you know what? They got it worked out. I mean, fine. You know. Well, who wants everybody to have a car? Wow, that's a strange idea. How many people have incredible gifts that they don't even tell anybody about? That they've never told anybody about? Raise your hand. Okay, you just told me. So, no, but I'm just saying. But you have to know that in this life, you have to be prepared for certain things. And one of the things you have to really be prepared for is the fact that you need to keep certain things to yourself. Because if you don't, and don't plan, and don't perfect it, and don't organize it, and don't use persistence to make it manifest, somebody will come along and crush you. You know why that person always goes back and starts eating meat again? Because they don't have a plan. They don't have a white hot desire inside of them, like a piece of charcoal. How many of you seen a piece of charcoal burn? And it gets white hot. You don't want to touch that thing. You'll poke it with a stick, but you won't touch it. That's how your desire has to be. Then you go back with your organized plan. Well, I want to do this. I want to exercise. I want to start substituting meats for veggies, and I want to do this. And you go with a plan. Then let somebody come up to you and say, no. What you doing that vegetarian stuff, man? Let them come up to you then. It will roll off your back. Mm-hmm. See the difference? It's a small difference when you just want to just share something and just spew it out, and then next thing you know, nothing gets done. But when you have a plan of attack and action, oh, whoo, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Now, the thing with on your, I'll tell you this. Who are you to deny the world your gifts? Listen to what I just said. Who are you to deny the world your gifts? Well, how do you own your gifts, J. Thurman? You talking, but how do you own your gifts? Well, first I'll tell you one thing. You get a piece of paper out. The greatest invention to man right now is a pencil or a pen. Because everything that you see around you in this room was first diagrammed and drafted and engineered out with a thought and a pen.